18 years ago, 3 innocent lives were left behind, rejected at birth and abandoned without a second thought. Their future seemed uncertain, but destiny had other plans. You won't believe how this story unfolds. Stay tuned and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. If this story moves you, please subscribe to our channel for more gripping narratives. At St. Joseph's Medical Center in Charleston, South Carolina, 3 cries echoed through the delivery room, the raw sound of new life. Triplets, a boy and 2 girls, entered the world, their tiny faces full of innocence. Their skin, a rich, dark brown, gleamed under the fluorescent lights. The nurses smiled, wrapping them in soft blankets, ready to place them into their parents' waiting arms. But the joy evaporated the moment Thomas and Elizabeth Warren saw them. Elizabeth's breath caught in her throat, her eyes wide with shock. She turned to her husband, searching for comfort, but found only cold disbelief. Thomas stood rigid, his face pale, his fists clenched. He didn't move closer. He didn't speak. His silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. "They're beautiful," a nurse whispered, trying to ease the tension. But the words fell flat. Elizabeth's shoulders sagged, her body trembling. She looked at the babies again, their skins so much darker than hers or Thomas's. It mocked her, shattering everything she thought she knew. She reached out, hesitated, then pulled back, her heart twisting painfully. Thomas's voice cut through the air, cold and final. "We need time to think." His words left no room for argument. He turned and walked out, his footsteps echoing down the hallway. Elizabeth watched him leave, her chest tightening, her world collapsing. She didn't follow. She couldn't. Her feet felt rooted to the floor, her mind numb with disbelief. The nurses exchanged worried glances. They tried to place the babies in Elizabeth's arms, but she shook her head. "I just need a moment," she whispered, then turned away, shoulders hunched in defeat. That night, Thomas and Elizabeth made their decision. They refused to see the babies again. They signed away their parental rights, their names scrawled hastily across documents that felt cold and final. "It's impossible," Thomas muttered, his jaw clenched. "They can't be ours." His denial was fierce, unyielding, a shield against the truth he could not face. Elizabeth's heart shattered as she signed her name, tears blurring her vision. She wanted to scream, to demand answers, to understand how this could be happening. But her voice was gone, swallowed by fear and shame. She set the pen down and walked away, hollow and heavy, never looking back. Neither did Thomas. The hospital staff whispered in pity and disbelief. Some spoke of hidden genetics, ancient ancestry resurfacing unexpectedly. Others murmured about fear and shame, about a man who could not accept children who did not reflect his image. But no one truly understood. The triplets were left behind, nameless and alone. Their cries echoed through the nursery. Nurses took turns holding them, whispering lullabies, trying to fill the void left by parents who could not stay. But love from strangers could not heal the wound of abandonment. Days passed, and the story spread. Who would take in 3 babies at once, especially with the scandal surrounding them? Would they be separated, their bond broken before they even knew the world? But in Somerville, word of the abandoned triplets reached David and Naomi Turner, 3 infants left behind, not because of illness or poverty, but because they didn't look like their parents. It was cruel, unfair, but it was real. Naomi's heart sank as she heard the story. David saw the pain in her eyes, the familiar ache that had haunted them for years. They had prayed for a family, but their arms remained empty. Until now. "They need us," Naomi said, her voice trembling. David knew then that their lives were about to change. At the hospital, a nurse led them to the nursery. "They've been together since birth," she explained softly. "They only sleep when they're touching. It's like they already know they need each other." David and Naomi stood over the crib looking down at 3 tiny faces, peaceful, perfect, a boy and 2 girls. Their dark eyes closed, their fingers curled around each other's hands. Naomi reached out, her fingers trembling, and touched the boy's soft cheek. "Caleb," she whispered. The name felt right, as if it had always been meant for him. David's voice was rough with emotion as he looked at the first girl. "Chloe," he murmured, his heart tightening. The third lay close, serene, pressed against her sister. Naomi's voice broke as she whispered, "Nia, our little Nia." 3 names, 3 souls who needed them. David's decision solidified. "All 3, he said, his voice firm. "They stay together. We're their family now." Naomi nodded, tears falling silently. "Yes, all 3. Within weeks, the adoption was finalized. The triplets came home, their lives forever changed. They grew up surrounded by love and security. Caleb was gentle, empathetic, the first to comfort his sisters. Chloe was curious, her wide eyes always searching for answers. Nia was bold, her laughter filling the house, her spirit unbreakable. But the world was waiting, ready to question them. At school, the question started innocently. "Why don't you look like your parents? Are you adopted?" The triplets shrugged them off, but the stares grew heavier. The whispers sharpened into something more pointed. By age 10, the questions came home with them. "Why don't we look like you?" Chloe's voice was small, fragile. David pulled her close, his heart breaking. "Because love doesn't look like anything," he said softly. "It feels like this." Naomi wrapped her arms around them. "We chose you. That's what matters." But Chloe's eyes held questions they couldn't answer, doubts they couldn't erase. The whispers followed them as they grew older. "Are they really yours?" someone asked once, eyes narrow. David's jaw tightened, his chest burning, but he answered calmly, "Yes, they are ours." But the triplets heard the questions, absorbed the doubts, began to wonder where they truly belonged. As teenagers, they excelled. Caleb in music, Chloe in journalism, Nia on the track. But their successes didn't silence the whispers. The judgment only magnified. Then came the hardest question of all. Why did they leave us? The truth was raw, honest. Their birth parents chose to leave, but that choice was theirs, not the triplets. Still, it wasn't enough. They needed closure. And so they searched for Thomas and Elizabeth Warren. They sent a letter. "We are your children. We need to know why." The response came weeks later. "We will meet you. It's time for the truth." What happened next changed everything. But the triplets already knew one thing. They had been enough all along, and they always would be.